Alaska, the last frontier. These are the voyagers of the cruise ship Ruby Princess and its mission to boldly go where probably a lot of people have been before. Okay, I'm done. It's Ketchikan Day, and I'm so excited. Come with us. Ketchikan was our first port city. We came in at 7 a.m. and we had to leave by 4 p.m. We ended up getting off the boat at 8 a.m. because our excursion was at 9:30, and we figured we'd grab coffee and a bite to eat before. We're off to find coffee.
Good morning, guys.
No.
Coffee.
Ketchikan is super cute and walkable. Obviously, it was sprinkling a bit, and our first stop was Alaska Coffee, which is a local coffee shop. It's also a local coffee roaster, I believe, and they were really nice there. And there's a mural of their town, which was super cute, and they even gave us a postcard of that. I got an oat milk mocha here. If you come here, I would probably recommend getting something with a syrup because their mocha was powdery, and so it kind of settled at the bottom. But overall, it was a pretty good drink. And of course, you can see when the coffee hits my body, I turn into an actual alive person instead of a zombie. So that was good. And then we opted to split a breakfast burrito because we would be eating some other things along the way, but I did want to get some protein so we could sustain all of our excursion. This shop was a little on the small side, but we were able to find some seating and sit to enjoy our little breakfast. It was really good. They also had a salsa that they had with this breakfast burrito, and it really added some extra delicious flavor. I think this is a very local spot too. I did see a bunch of different people coming through here, and I would recommend that you go here. It was a wonderful stop. Next, we headed away from the cruise port through this tunnel, and it was more of the lesser crowded side of town, less touristy. We walked by this burger restaurant that my friend recommended, but it wasn't open yet. And then we headed to Jellyfish Donuts because Ketchikan is the salmon capital of the world, and this donut shop has a smoked salmon donut. And also, look at the decor of the shop. Of course, I had to come here. I didn't realize that they have multiple locations throughout Alaska. It is a small, locally owned business, though. It's also woman owned. So that was really great. And the salmon donut is not an inexpensive item to buy, so I will warn you, they do make the donuts fresh there. And, they're huge and very filling, so getting 3 was probably a mistake. It was definitely a mistake. Salmon donut. I'm just gonna pick it up because delicious. So fluffy, and I should probably be taking latte. The salmon donut is just like a fluffy lox bagel, if you will. And then we walked by this spot, which is Filipino owned. Again, they were not opened yet, so we did not go in there. And then I saw this super cute store that was local woman owned, so I went in there and bought a couple of things. You will see that in a haul video later. And then on the way back to meet up our tour, we walked a different path, so it was a little bit more scenic. So it was by the water, and I don't know, I love Alaska. It's so beautiful and scenic, and everything about it is just so lovely. For our excursion in Ketchikan, we did the Saxman Native Village tour, and then we also did a Ketchikan City tour. So it was on a bus, and they also picked up people from the other cruise ship that was in town too before they got to us. First stop was seeing this creek. I believe this is the same creek that goes through Creek Street. I could be wrong, but this is where salmon are during the times they come to spawn. Unfortunately, it was not that time yet when we were there. And then there was this lovely park that we were able to walk around and check out, and it was just lovely. And Ketchikan is southernmost Alaska, so it is actually a rainforest. I know like most people think of Alaska and they think snow, but that is not the case here. And obviously you saw earlier it was raining, but it did clear up for us, which was very nice. Our tour guide slash bus driver did tell us all about the different places in town as we were driving by. He also pointed out any wildlife, which was mostly bald eagles that we saw there. And then we went to the Saxman Native Village, which is the indigenous folks who live here. Right here, you're seeing inside of the area where they carve totem poles, and here is the example totem pole that they have outside on display. And then we walked over to check out the ones that are outdoor. If I had to do this all over again, I would actually do the Saxman Native Village experience where you could go inside the buildings, be more immersed in the culture. I believe they do like a performance of their music and dance for you. This was lovely, don't get me wrong, but I would have loved to see more of the culture. After our guide told us the history of some of the totem poles, we were given time to explore, and you could go through the trail that they have here. They also have a gift shop where you can go in and buy the goods made by the local indigenous folks. And so I definitely went in there and got some little souvenirs to take home. This is a beautiful path, and it is mostly flat. You can just stay on the trail and explore this area. It is so beautiful. We also learned about some of the plants that are native to this city as well, so that was very cool. All right, so we got some 49th State Brewing. This is their craft soda, but I also believe they are a brewery, and we got the root beer flavor. They also have a spruce tip flavor, but I'm not brave enough right this second, maybe before we leave. But I'm going to give it a try, and then Dustin won't give it a try. That's good beer. It's root beer.
It's going to track you.
Get closer to me.
Creamy.
It is nice and sweet. After leaving the Saxman village, we headed off to a waterfall. and it was a really scenic and lovely drive. Here is the waterfall. You could climb to the top and get a better view. I opted to stay at the bottom, but as you can see, my husband went to the top to get a better view for you. I think all of the tours take their people here, so just be mindful of that. After the waterfall, we headed back to town. So our bus driver dropped us off at Creek Street. He could take you back to the port if you wanted, but we wanted to explore. So first we went to this bookstore that one of my friends told me about, and it was fantastic. Highly recommend you go here. I ended up getting 2 books here, and mind you, I had already packed 5 books, so that was a little silly of me, but that's okay because you got to support local bookstores. And if I haven't said already, you want to look for places, stores that say locally owned, because it is illegal for people to write locally owned if they're not locally owned. And then on tags, if you're buying products, you want to look for things that say made in Alaska or Alaska made. Obviously, books are not going to be that. They're not going to fall into that category. But if you're looking at jewelry or art or t-shirts or whatever, you do want to look for Alaskan made products. Next, we were off to Creek Street, which is Ketchikan's old red light district. Now it is mostly shops and restaurants, though there are museums in here where you could tour and you could see what it used to look like back in the day, and they would tell you the entire history of brothels if you'd like. This is also one of the most photographed streets in Alaska, and I can see why. We also stumbled upon the statue, which I thought was the cutest. And here I'm showing you an example of one of those signs where you know it's a local shop, and we tried to only shop in local establishments because we want to support the people who live in Alaska and who open businesses for us. There was plenty of local shops. And here is the museum I was telling you about, Dolly's House, where you could go for a tour and learn all about the brothel. So we did try to go to some of the popular seafood restaurants, but the line was very intense. So we ended up at a brew pub, and Alaska is known for having lots of local craft beers. So we checked this out. My husband had 2 beers here and he liked both of them. They had these amazing pickle fries, which were pickles that were made into French fries, and their smash burgers were so good. After our lunch, it was time to head back to the Ruby Princess. It was a lovely short day in Ketchikan. This is such a beautiful city, and I wish we had more time to explore. So if you have the opportunity to either come here on your own or take a cruise that has a longer port time in Ketchikan, I highly recommend that. We did enjoy our excursion that we went on, though if I went again, I would definitely book the excursion that actually went inside the Saxman village buildings, and talk to the artists that create the totem poles, and hear more about the indigenous folks that live in Alaska. The downtown area was very walkable. I feel like we barely even got to see all of it, so you could definitely spend a long time wandering around, especially if you're going to take some cute photos. definitely support local while you're in Ketchikan, and hopefully we will make it back here one day. So if you have a favorite spot in Ketchikan, please leave it in a comment down below for us and we will try and check it out. Thank you for watching our adventure. Be sure to check out all of the videos in our Alaska series and subscribe for more. Please like and subscribe here if you haven't. We're on the road to 1,000 followers, hopefully by the end of this year. What else? Oh, if you would like to follow along with my social media, I'll have it listed down below. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.